Hey everyone, and welcome to the HR Vision podcast. I'm your host, Ivo, and every week I'm going to have a conversation that matters about HR. In this episode, I have Anna Inés with me. So welcome, Anna. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm pretty good. Thank you.
Awesome. So Anna is an HR technology consultant at FourVision, and today she's here with me to talk about a broad topic of human resources as a function. So Anna, are you ready?
I am. I'm excited.
You're
Very
excited?
excited.
Good. That's good. All right. So let's start. Maybe let's start. With a small introduction about yourself and your professional background.
Okay, awesome. So thank you very much for the opportunity of being here. I want to start saying thank you. It's awesome to exchange and talk a bit about HR in with other people that are not our clients. So that's very, very good.
Awesome.
So I'm Anna. I'm a implementation consultant here at FourVision. I come from a very weird background because I'm a psychologist, and I worked in HR for my entire career. And someday I joined a Microsoft partner company, and they were implementing Dynamics HR. So I joined, and luckily for me, that journey never ended. So here I am in technology industry.
All right.
That's me.
Okay. So when did this start? The HR? Why? So you have a psychology education. Why pick HR as an area of expertise?
Um, in my family, it runs in the blood of my family. HR. My mother
Okay.
did that. Yeah, my mother did that. But more in a payroll basis. So
Mm-hmm.
I always was familiar for that. But um, when I was in high school, I was lost and I didn't have any clue where to go. And after high school, I decided to start like a short course of HR. And all my like instructors were psychologists. So I thought like this is a good thing to do. If I go this way, I may work in HR or may work like as a counselor or whatever. And luckily for me, in between while I was studying in university, I was able to work like in part-time jobs or internships, all related with HR. So that, something that was always there with me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's been there all the time.
Yeah, and then the career basically shifted that way.
Exactly.
I understand that. So yeah, if we go towards the topic itself, how would you describe in your own words? How would you describe HR as a function?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. HR, I think that is beyond a function. It's more like an understanding of the human side of the organization, how this, not only about the resources, because HR is always human resources, but
Yeah.
about the understanding beyond the people, and building culture, building a good place to work. I mean, HR, I don't think I can answer this so simply, but and you know that I'm obsessed with this topic. So
Mm-hmm.
if you
Yeah.
let me talk, I can talk for
Let's
hours.
go.
But
We have time.
um, but HR is part of. I think that HR is part of the basis of every organization. And HR as a function should be an ally of the organization and the organization goals to, keep track and keep achieving things that, that are aligned with the business. So, yeah, I don't think I answered your question, but yeah, that's my thoughts.
Okay, so you would say that it's basically it's more than if I understand it correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you would say that is more than a function because basically it's organizing all the human uh, resources within a company to achieve the company's goals. So it's basically a way of organizing, putting people in the right place to achieve the goals of the company. So that would be what you're saying.
Yeah. Yes. Don't leave behind the fact that it's not only the right people in the right place, but also the right environment, and providing like I like to think that HR provides like not only the persons but um, the the environment
The right
for
conditions for those,
development or for exactly
for the people to
but
succeed. Yeah.
yeah, beyond the tools or the computer or the headset or whatever, just more like an internal feeling of good conditions to work.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not only the tangible things; it's also like the intangible things, which
Exactly.
is people feeling safe, motivated, welcomed, so they can actually perform at the highest level.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so if you had to rank HR in a company, like as a thing that you need inside a company, where would you rank it?
Of course, for me, it's the first.
It's the most important
It's the
thing.
number one. Without people, you can't do anything. Well, you can do at this moment. We know that you can, use technology to get rid of people, but you will always, always, always need a human side, and it doesn't matter like the industry you're working for. You always will need a human side in your company. So for me, it's number one. But I do know that without a business relationship of department, for example, that create that business, relationship and also sales and alliance. Without that, you're not able to provide anything to your team. So I think that those two are there, business relationships and HR. They're aligned together.
Okay. Okay. I will add something to that, which would be the product itself, what you're selling, right? If you don't have anything to sell, you don't need people to work for, and you don't need business relations. So I think it's a combination of these three. Would you agree with me?
Exactly. It's a combination. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So let's go over challenges. We don't need to list all the challenges, but we can go over the ones that you remember. Like what do you think are the main challenges for HR professionals these days?
We have classic HR challenges and we have current challenges. So for the classic challenges, we do have that HR is not always the main, the HR doesn't always have a budget. So they don't have enough money to implement or to adopt solutions or to improve. So they keep working as I don't know, with paper, with Excel spreadsheets. So those are two challenges, like classical challenges that I have the opportunity to work with. So I know from the inside how that look.
You've seen this a lot with the companies you've been working with.
Yeah, I work for the government here in Uruguay, and yeah, they work a lot with paper. They don't have budget, and that's that because HR is cost 100%. It's not billable. So as it is cost, you're not. It's not your priority. Go ahead.
Let me just interrupt you there because you said cost, and I think I come from Portugal, for example, and I think a lot of times HR is more about cost than investment. It's seen as a cost instead of an investment. So companies tend to just overlook it and you can still work with that. You don't need a program to control people or to make like the boarding a bit more swift, or you don't need payroll data. You just write everything down and you just send it to the bank accounts and those kind of things. So I think that's something that's exactly what you're saying. It's overlooked because it's seen as a cost, not as an investment.
Exactly, 100%. And now that you're saying that, it is 100% an investment, because um, you can't. I mean, you can't have the people that is managing the entire human resources for your company working slow and not smart.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy.
It's actually creating you more costs, because if you
Yeah.
don't invest in that, you're going to have people taking more time to do their tasks when they could accomplish much more if you could invest in them. So
Yeah.
that's, yeah.
So those two are like classical challenges, and we have a third one that I think it's even worse than the that I already told you.
Hmm.
That when HR has this budget, a very tiny budget, it is HR itself that decides to go and look after a solution without IT um, assessment or advice. So
Hmm.
they have little budgets all over. I mean, in a couple of years they can build like a Frankenstein with multiple solutions, and
Yeah.
that is terrible, because it's I've seen that it's a nightmare. You have information spread all over or locally stored, so that's not a smart way to work, and that's usually what we found. I mean, what I found in my experience. um, so that's even worse that paperwork for me.
Okay. So yeah, it's not only not having budget, but when they do, they don't know exactly where to start, and they start mixing everything up.
Exactly. So you have, for example, you need to invest in a recruitment solution, so you go there, but you also buy employee development solutions. So then you can't just cross information, because there are different solutions.
Yeah.
So instead of having only one that gathers everything, um, so that's the risk of HR taking the decisions without working with IT.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
So those are classical that you see
classical.
everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
So what are the other challenges, the current challenges that you talked about?
So we have a current challenge right now that is, and I don't want to be cliche, but this current situation that we are in, this lockdown,
Pa-
uh,
Pandemic, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that I mean, it's very difficult, and I don't think that the companies already realize how to manage properly this kind of stuff, of having people at home with their families, trying to work, trying to be productive, trying to stay healthy, and yeah, trying not to overwhelm the employees. So that challenge, I think that we didn't discover yet how to solve it. um, but I do think that we learned that being able to provide a closer approach with employees, that can make them feel better. But that is something that I'm seeing right now and with my friends, and so it's one of the current ones. Yeah.
On a tangent to that, what are your thoughts on the working from home? Because I think it's going to change dramatically. What do you think about that?
um, for me, it's very simple, because I live alone. I don't have kids. That's very good. But I do think that that sometimes it can take over your entire day. So I work from the same table that I eat, and you are always with in the back of your mind, I should be working, or maybe I could be doing this. But as you said, this changed the way that we work, the way that where organizations invest their money. They realize that paying a rent, it might be a very a very not necessary investment or cost. So
Hmm.
it can change the
Paying,
way
you said, I'm sorry, paying a rent, you said,
rent for
well,
or
for
an
a building.
office.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I say, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it
so
might not be worth it.
no,
Go
I
ahead.
get that. No, no, sorry. Yeah, about that, I think it's going to change dramatically. But like dealing with humans, that's the thing. Everybody's different,
Yes.
right? You will have people that will welcome the change to starting working way more days from work, remote work all the time because they just adapted so easily. And you have people right now realizing, and we see this in a lot of companies and a lot of our friends and family, because everybody's in the same situation. And you see a lot of people now thinking like, you know what? I didn't think I missed the office, but I actually do because I have the kids running around and I can't focus the whole day, or even for your healthcare, for like your mental health, like you're
Yes.
closed in the same place the whole day and you need to see people. And I think companies, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, or what your thoughts are on this, but I think a lot of companies will need to realize that they should give some flexibility depending on what people choose also to do.
Yeah, for me, I think that there's a game changer that that need to be present, 5 days a week, 8-9 hours in an office. That will not longer be uh, a, a a way of working, I think.
Hmm.
I mean, unless your work, you need to work doing something at at an industry or something like that. But
Yeah.
if you don't, uh, the way managers are seeing how the future is coming is changing. So that flexibility to play with, that you are your own owner of how you manage your time, and that you can be productive with that, and you can also be a good member of the family. You can
Yeah.
be fulfill all your plans. So yes.
Yeah, and I think companies are seeing that. Everybody went home, and at least some studies that came out earlier this year said that the productivity in general didn't actually go down or anything. People are still productive even if they are at home. What they probably miss is the human contact, more time to
Yes.
to manage the time between workspace, what is work and what is personal life. That's I think the main challenge.
Yes, exactly. I miss the coffee talk. I want I the last time I was in an office, it was in February
Yeah,
2019. 2020, sorry, 2020.
2020. Yeah,
Yeah, but I miss coffee talk. I miss uh talking about football, talking about something else.
yeah. People underestimate that coffee talk. The water cooler talk, and it's
Yeah,
important. It's human relations. That's what
it
it is.
is. It is
Yeah.
100%.
Any more challenges that you've noticed, you've seen these that are these days with the HR professionals?
I do think that we have something that it could be historic from the industry, that we have, a lot of competition within technology companies, that
Hmm.
we steal talent from one place to the other. So that's something, but I don't think it's worth it to go over that. Just think that I was working in the before I joined FourVision, and I was I mean, like 2 years ago, or even more, I was
Hmm.
recruiting people from the technology industry, and it was nightmare. You have this, it's like head hunting, that is like overwhelming and challenging, and also for the um, candidates. But yeah, I think that the ones that we already discussed are like the main ones. Um, yeah.
But this one you're talking was like when you're trying to find someone and the market is actually very small. It's a very specific position, so it's a very recruitment related issue, right?
It is recruitment related issue, 100%. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I think we can move. I think we gave a general good idea of the challenges.
Awesome.
So the next step would be the trends. What are the HR trends that you're seeing that people should be aware of?
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, there are different levels, I think. There are trends that I see and there are trends that I would like to see. So the ones that I see is that we're using, luckily for us and luckily for like the lesson learned, one of the lessons learned from this pandemic is that we are um, putting a lot of effort into making people happy and taking care of well-being. So that is being a trend. And you can see that, like, for example, with the alignment that Microsoft did with Headspace. So you can see that big companies are giving the sign to invest in well-being for employees. So that it is a trend that I'm very, very, happy about. So
Good.
I think that that's the path. Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you think it was already coming before the pandemic, and the pandemic only accelerated it, or have you seen it before, or like the pandemic just started off?
I always seen HR working closely to build a better culture and to provide a better environment. But right now, what I'm seeing right now, I think that this is a result of what we discovered. We have lots of people overwhelmed and feeling terrible with this whole situation. So it is number one priority for us. So
Okay.
mhm, yeah.
All right. So that's the first
Yeah,
trend.
the first trend. The second trend is that we're investing in automating a bit more. So when I say we, I talk about like HR. So I feel like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
HR.
I got it. I got it. Yeah.
Luckily, we are investing in automating a bit more some processes, because as I told you at the beginning, we have lots of manual and administrative tasks that we do in HR, and we are realizing that it's not that much the investment that we need to do to improve the process. So for example, we have the Power Virtualations, that these are like bots that we can build and they can solve easy challenges. We can integrate that with Teams and we can solve easy challenges.
Hmm.
Uh, we also have like this team app connected with Dynamics HR to help the employees to manage leave balances. So that is something very easy that could change your the employee experience in second. So investment for technology, that's the second trend that I'm seeing. Yeah, I don't think I see anything else. I'm trying to think.
Regarding this one, and then I'll suggest a third trend.
Okay.
But regarding this one, do you think there's an overwhelming cadence of these type of tools surging in the market as well? Because I think for an HR professional, when you're looking for a tool, it might be a bit overwhelming. It depending on the type of company, of course. If you're talking about like a huge company, you already know there are like two or three players basically. But for the mid ground, like the mid-level company, actually, FourVision works for that level of companies. There's plenty of solutions that you can go from a wide range. You probably are looking for something that streamlines the whole process from end to end. But you're also sometimes looking only for a tool for recruitment because you don't have enough budget. Do you think there's an overwhelming, range of tools that you can choose from?
I think so. And if you are an HR analyst and you Google recruiting tools, I didn't do that. I will do it after this recording, but I didn't do that. I'm pretty sure that if you do search for that, you will be overwhelmed in a second.
Yeah.
So it's very important that to work closely with HR and to take like with IT, and to be very cognizant about the decision of investing in technology.
Yeah, to understand what are the needs and what are the requirements
Yeah,
to
one
invest in a tool.
sorry, yeah. Um, One of the things that we underestimate is like the impact of the adoption of that technology. So if I decide to invest in whatever in a bot, for example, um, I don't think HR is thinking about the adoption for the employees or how is the learning curve it's going to be or stuff like that. So they don't consider some uh, very important things to, in order to have a successful experience. So like the big picture, that's what I'm trying to say.
I see. Okay. Now I'm going to throw you a third trend. I don't know if you agree, but we are all. You work, of course, in HR. I work in marketing, so it's a different area. But I applied myself, so I deal with HR. When you apply to a position, when you're looking for jobs or whatever, and I personally see a trend. Or maybe because in my career I'm looking as well more into that, which is the alignment between the culture of the company and the culture that the employee is looking, and vice versa.
Yep.
I don't know if you believe this is a trend, but like the employer branding that is such in in high standards right now, and everybody's talking about this, and like fitting the culture of the company with the culture that the employee is looking for. I see this as a trend. Do you not?
It is. Yes, I agree 100%. Employee branding is a trend I think for a few years now, but lately it's one of the things that we are putting a lot of effort, because the only way that we can build brand outside of our organization is with the prospects and with how we put our company out there, in social media and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very important. I think that this is a good trend that will obligate people from HR departments to provide a better experience, and to help build a better brand. And the cultural fit that you mentioned is something very important. And I have a bittersweet feeling with that, because in one end, I do think that it's very important to have people aligned with your culture, but in the other hand, I do think that you need some people that are not so aligned to disrupt like how everything's built. So
I remember we talked about on an article that we wrote together for the blog. So I'm gonna put the links on the comments of the podcast about this, because you should hire for cultural fit, but you should be aware as well that when you don't do that, you also are pulling people that are different, that can give you a different perspective on issues on a particular job or something like that. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that is a good one. Okay, this was a great talk. I don't know if you have anything else that you'd like to mention regarding HR.
No, I mean, I'm very passionate about this, as you can see, and I can talk for hours. But no, I think that we're getting to a point where companies are realizing the value of investment in this area, and as you said, investment, not cost. So lucky for us, we're getting there, and we're this FourVision, we are gonna try to help companies to work better.
Awesome.
So, that's it.
All right, Anna, thank you so much for your time. This was a great conversation, and we'll see you next time in the next episode of HR Vision.
Sounds awesome.